Welcome back, guys. I got a special guest, my brother David Jones, fire captain, realtor, and mortgage professional. Guys, we got a lot to unpack. I'm going to get right into it. Brother, first of all, welcome to the show. Welcome to the team. How you doing?
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, I'm good. It's a good morning so far. Got some training in.
That's good. Good. Man, I just got a question, man. How the hell do you do it? Firefighter, husband, realtor, professional bodybuilder. What's the deal, bro?
Last one I don't know about, but you got to do what you got to do. It's for your family, and that's life. It's you get into a routine. You just end up taking the next step, and before you know it, there you are. It's a journey.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to unpack where you're from. Where did you grow up at?
Oh, I'm from here in Oceanside, man. So
really?
Oceanside High. Pirate, that's right, woo. And then moved around a bunch, moved up to LA, ended up out in Temecula, same area, so it's good. Okay. Now we're back to Oceanside with the office.
That's crazy, man. So it's kind of like full circle. What is some of the things that you've seen change in this area about Oceanside? Because I know that, you've been here for a long time.
Everything. Just driving through is like a big difference, like the beach area, the band shell, all of the development down there. It's like it's beautiful down there now. It's not the way I remember it for sure.
I'm gonna tell you, man,
it's a big improvement. I'll say that.
So I'm gonna tell you something funny, man. When I was in the Marine Corps, and I remember Oceanside used to be the hood, man.
Yeah.
Like
Hill Street.
Yeah. Oceanside used to be a lot of gangs from the islands that used to be here. And then also you got the crazy Marines, hey, y'all need to stay out of trouble. But, one thing about real estate is real estate changes, which is a good thing. Now, so you grew up in Oceanside. You went to high school here. First and foremost, tell me how you became a firefighter.
So, like, right after high school, didn't know what I wanted to do, like, at all. Took a bunch of classes and then ended up going to a counselor. He'd said, you take 3 classes and you can be a firefighter. I said, great, I'm in. It's way more than 3 classes. It took like 4 years to like take all the classes, get all the experience. So long story short, that's how I got into it. Was I just didn't know what to do, and that landed in my lap. So blessed to be in this career, 17 years. Escondido Fire Department. It's been great. So I really recommend it for anybody that maybe doesn't have a path or doesn't know what to do after high school or college, whether it's military or first responder, police, fire. It's a great path for young guys and girls. Okay. So now you became a firefighter at what age? When did you start that occupation? What year was that? Let's see.
18, 19,
I was
20?
probably like 19. Yeah,
okay. When
I got serious about it. So 19, I'm 42 now.
Okay. So you have a lot of experience with that. So what was the scariest part about doing that occupation? Like what going into it, you think, you got your fire suit on, you're breaking down doors, you see what you see on TV. What is the scariest thing about doing that, getting into that occupation as a new person?
Well, I mean, the job when you're young it never scared me because you're young and you want to go to fires, you want to do all the cool stuff. So that part wasn't scary. The scary part when you're starting out is actually passing probation, and it's actually not losing your job, not screwing up on a medical aid and losing your license. Those are the things that scared me because that's your career. So I was never the fires were never a problem, or the accidents. That part was like the awesome part of the job. That's what we want to do. So yeah, at this point, it's free and clear. It's easy. Love the job. So yeah.
And then now, what advice would you give David Jones in his first year getting into that job? What would you tell a young man or young woman that is wanting to prepare for that position?
I'd say, it's funny, being a real estate professional now, your network makes a really big difference for your career. And I try to tell young guys that all the time in fire. I'm like, hey, you need to go to the stations and meet the guys, meet the people that work there, meet the chiefs, go in and get them to know you, you to know them, so that you have a personal relationship. You're going to do so much better on the interviews. You're going to have insight to the test and insight to the process. That's what I would tell anybody that's starting out. You need to work on your network.
Okay.
So that way you know what's coming, for the rest of your career.
Okay. So now you get into fire school. What would you tell them to prepare for mentally and physically to accomplish passing that entry level or barrier of entry, mentally and physically?
Yeah, so, mentally you have to prepare way ahead of time in terms of like taking those classes, like I said, networking and actually speaking to those guys that have been there. Like, they'll mentor you and tell you what to prepare for mentally, right? And so those things are kind of passed down, like me to you, you to me. And so mentally, you just have to be ready to, just suck it up, go through it. You got to be ready for some hazing, not technically hazing's not allowed, but you got to be ready to have some thick skin, we'll say.
Okay.
Whether it's from your peers or from, supervisors. So, and then physically, you got to be in shape. Like, you got to be able to do a ton of push-ups and you got to be able to run. You got to be in shape to do the job because you're ultimately charged with saving people.
Yes.
Carrying people and doing all kinds of crazy positions in dangerous positions. So you've got to be in shape. So for the fire academy, you got to go into it trained, training yourself. And a lot of that's psychological. So physically, you have to be able to keep going past that point of you feel like giving up. You just got to keep going because you don't want to quit in front of your buddies. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your chance at a job. Like, that's the focus, is getting the job. So you got to prepare physically for sure.
And you know what? That draws a very, very deep connection to being military because it's exactly the same thing. Boot camp is the exact same way. You have to be mentally and physically prepared to go through that attrition rate. Now, when you were going to camp, can you remember, was it a lot of people who washed out?
Yeah, for sure. I think each class probably takes on 30 to 40 candidates, and then within the first day, they try to get rid of as many as they can. So I think for my academy, there's maybe 8 to 10 that washed out. And then over the next couple of weeks, a few more washed out. So I think by the end, we were about half of what we started with.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
See, and the reason why we're asking these questions, man, is because a lot of people think that you can just go in there and it's going to be good. But I didn't even think about, obviously, I'm just focusing on the fire part, but you got to also think about in the midst of fear, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, so you go, how long is fire camp typically?
So academy is about 3 months in most places. There's a lot of different configurations, but it's about 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
And then your paramedic school is 9 months. That's totally different. It's more academic. So.
And what was the first call that you had after you became a firefighter? Do you remember?
The first call was a long time ago. Yeah, it probably wasn't anything exciting, but
it's like, come get this cat.
I mean, the calls that stand out are like the really gruesome ones, the hangings, the boat crashes.
Boat crashes?
Yeah, I had a boat
Really?
crash, yeah. 2 boats collided, and a young lady was caught in between them. A couple of limbs were severed. She was still alive, and I was still in training, actually. We ended up having to pluck her from the water with a lifeguard boat. I don't know anything about boats, by the way. And so we're on a boat trying to stabilize this young lady, get IVs in her, water's everywhere. There's maybe 4 or 5 other boats in the area, and we got her to UCSD, and everything was okay from our end. I don't know how she did, after that, but she was alive when we got her there. So, yeah, that's one of the ones that stands out the most.
Wow, man. See, and I think this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You guys do a lot of calls that don't even have to do with fire, crashes,
everything,
all types of other things. Is there something that remains in your mind that you go back to from your job outside of that situation? Maybe a child situation that you'd like to share that you were able to save, or something that you were able to do that you remember succinctly throughout your career?
In terms of like emergencies or?
Yes,
Oh,
anything.
okay. I'd say that the things that stand out the most that are positive are usually when there's a little kid that's involved that is so excited to see you.
Yeah.
And like they'll just come up and hug you. They don't know you. Even in the midst of the emergency that maybe their family's having, they'll come up and they'll hug you, and they'll find peace knowing that there's a person that they can
A
go
first
to.
responder.
Yeah. So
That's fantastic, man, because, I remember when I went to Afghanistan, and when I was in Afghanistan, we did humanitarian missions, and the kids that were over there, even though there was destruction going on around, those kids knew that the military people had MREs, their little food containers and stuff like that, for those of you who don't know what that is. But we would give them water and stuff like that, and they had they highly revered the service members that were there, and these people had nothing, man.
yeah.
And one thing that I do know about the fundamental difference that I want to share with you guys is that first responders are in more traumatic situations than military people are, because this is something that you do Monday through Friday, right?
Yeah.
So
And the weekends.
So, we train, but then we go to deployment and we're away for some time. But there's a huge parallel in, being in the midst of danger. So I have a high regard for you being a firefighter. Now, I know that you're tired right now. For those of you who don't know, he's worked for 7 days straight, okay? We just did some training. That's why he's like,
Not
right? What advice would you give a brand new person getting into this in regard to being away from family?
Whew. That's a longer show.
Sure.
Yeah, it's longer. I'd say same thing. You have to communicate, and you have to have a good network, actually. You got to have the rest of your family on board, whether that's grandma, grandpa, brothers, sisters, neighbors, friends that you can rely on that can jump in if you're at work and your wife is stuck on the side of the road with a little one, So I'd recommend, you got to have, once again, coming back to it, a network of people to rely on.
Like a support system.
A support system.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Okay.
important.
So now, how long were you you're a fire captain now? Can you tell me what that promotion looks like? Starting out, what are you? And then, from the tenure wise, how does that work?
Yeah, so you start out as an EMT, so
Okay.
you're working on an ambulance, and then you go to paramedic school. You work as a paramedic, so it's higher level, giving medications and just advanced care. From there, you move on to firefighter/paramedic, right? So you're fighting fires and you're doing medical aids, giving all the medications. From there, you promote to engineer. The engineer is the guy that's driving the engine or the fire truck. They're kind of the second in command, at least in our structure, underneath the captain. So the captain's the one that has overall responsibility for your crew. So for the engineer, firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs, whether it's on emergency calls or even administratively, so all the performance evals, all of the their promotional duties that they're trying to achieve, right? And then from captain, it goes to battalion chief, to division chiefs, to the chief. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then you guys' pension is similar to the military as well. So how long do you have to be in the firefighter of doing that system before you can draw a pension?
So for California, we're CalPERS, at least in our city, and so that's a 30-year term basically, and you got to go until the age of 57 now for newer employees.
Okay.
So 57 years old, and then the formula is called 3% at 50. So actually for them it's 2.7 at 50. It's 2.7 at 57, I believe.
Okay.
It's kind of convoluted. They've changed a lot of things. I was hired at the 3% at 50, so that's what I stick to and hold on to in my brain. But essentially, yeah, it's a really good pension in terms of you do your 30 years, you reach your age mark, whatever age it's supposed to be, and then you collect that pension for the rest of your life. You know, so you're taken care of in your later years.
That's good, man. You know, that's really good. I remember when I was young, I watched this show called this movie called Backdraft, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a firefighter, man. That had me hyped, boy, because it's like you shut the door. And what are some of the biggest misconceptions about doing that career and the movies? That's what I want to know.
Let's see. So when you're in a fire, you're not talking like they're doing it on TV, you know, like they're having conversations. You can't hear anything.
Okay.
You also can't see anything. It's full of smoke. It's dark. There's no power. So truth is, we're yelling. We're saying, you know, we can't hear each other. And then we're tripping over each other. You fall down a lot on fires on the inside because you're tripping over coffee tables
that you can't see.
Can't see each other. Most of the time you're crawling. You're probably not walking if you can't see. So, and then the other things are like, you know, maybe the silliness you see around the station that's been cut down a lot over the years. So on camera. So, but yeah, I'd say it's the movies, right? They want to make it exciting. If they saw what it really was, they'd probably be like, okay, it's dangerous, but it's not as exciting to watch.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool. Now we've talked about you being a firefighter and where you come from. What about siblings? Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one younger brother, Colin Jones, shout out, retired from the Air Force.
Okay.
He's out in Vegas with his wife, Andrea. She also was in the Air Force, both retired. They have 2 little boys, 2 older girls that are also in the military. So we, you know, have kept in touch over the years, but he's been deployed all over the place, you know. So now he's close enough in Vegas to where we get to see each other. He comes out here every once in a while to go to Disneyland and stuff. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then so now you where did you meet Mrs. Jasmine Jones? How'd you guys meet?
In Oceanside, of course.
Really?
Yeah. So she's from LA, but we both worked at Tri-City Hospital. She was a EKG tech and I was an EMT, so I was doing my school thing, and we just connected there and became friends, and then ended up, you know, having a little one together, and here we are. We got 2 boys, Solomon and Samuel. Solomon recently moved out. He's 18 years old now. But yeah, Jazz and I, we just hit it off. Very alike in a lot of ways. So we both hate seafood, for those who don't know. Don't invite us out. That's a pretty rare thing, it seems like. But yeah, Tri-City Hospital, Oceanside.
Okay, so now you guys met, and then you got married, and then you have 2 little chicken nuggets. Now, when did you guys make the decision that she was going to do real estate and not still do the what was the deciding factor of that?
Fire was. So that's the other part of firefighting is your schedule is so unpredictable, right? That whatever career field that your wife is in or your significant other's in, it makes it really difficult for them to hold down a normal 9-to-5 job, right? So there's times when you get mandatoried when you're not expected to work. So I'm stuck at work for multiple days for some reason. That means that she can't work. So she's having to call out sick or having to use sick vacation days, which leads to I just need to quit because I can't hold down this job, right? So that's a very big, you know, deterrent to the career. But it's something that you have to have a conversation about ahead of time with your spouse or with your girlfriend if you're not at that level yet. And you have to have that network to help you with the kids
and a good support system.
Yeah, because it ended up like whatever she was making, she was paying for in daycare to cover, and we're paying extra daycare as a buffer, you know, for the days that I'm gone. So, so from there, you know, she ended up stopping for a while. She's kind of staying at home, and then kind of bounced around. She ended up starting as a property manager for an apartment complex, and then built up her career from there. She's worked in all kinds of roles, recruiting and everything, and then she became the real estate pro that she is today. So.
That's kind of crazy because, you know, the military is exactly the same way. And, you know, the more and more that I discover about that when I was listening to her on when I interviewed her, she was basically saying the same thing. It's very difficult. A lot of spouses don't work specifically because they're carrying on the role and responsibilities of the either the first responder or the military person. So it's a lot of responsibility. Think about it: balancing kids, trying to keep a career, okay, paying a lot of money when you're trying to work. It's a lot. So,
Yeah.
I think that, real estate does provide that, or entrepreneurship does provide that balance, because now you're able to have a flexible schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And we've found that balance now because, yeah, you're right. She's able to configure her schedule around my days, and I've been able to configure my days around her schedule. So it works out really well now. So
that's good. Now, so 17 or 18 years in firefighting.
17, I guess, going on 18 in March. Yeah.
Going on 18 in March. Congratulations with that.
Thanks.
Now, when did David say that I want to get in this crazy ass business, real estate? What? You already okay? So now you're trying to maintain your health, because, and this is another thing, man. When you're away from home, it's very, very quick. You can very, very quickly. This military people too. You could get out of shape very, very easily, because you want to eat what's there. And then you have an unpredictable schedule. How are you able? For one, I want to know how you're able to maintain your quality of life with work-life balance, health and all of that stuff. And then we're going to get into why you became a realtor.
So the work-life balance part, I think I'm kind of extreme. So whichever part needs help, I go all in on it. So fitness was an issue for a bit, so I went all in, and now I feel great. But now I need to focus on other areas, right? So for me, I wouldn't say that I've ever been balanced. Try my best to hit every task that I need to do, whether it's home life or work, or my professional real estate career. I don't have a good answer for that one, because
there's no balance.
I haven't found a balance. But
I'm the same way. And usually people who are extreme, man, they want to, look, man, I'm going to look at the camera and tell you guys this. Listen, if you're trying to be successful, there is no work-life balance. You got to figure it out. There is no magic formula. If you want to be a high performer at anything that you do, that's going to require for you to give something up. And one thing that I admire about you guys is that, people will have a successful, first responder or military career, but at the demise of their family. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What made you become, why the hell did you get into real estate? I'm trying to figure this out, because I don't understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, that schedule is really tough. It wears you down. I think I slept 3 hours last night, on shift. So I was just looking for something else and it was right in front of me the whole time, right? Like, it was Jasmine and her success, and realizing, like, as we're going through houses, because I'd go with her, some of the houses were not safe, and realize, like, well, I know building construction. Well, I know all the things you're looking at. I understand all the things you're talking about. And so I just slowly became exposed to it and realized, like, hey, this is a path that makes sense. Then I got too close to it, and, husband and wife doing the same thing. She's like, you know what, this is my deal. Back up a little bit. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what that piece of the structure is called. So that's when I moved over to the loan side, and it made a lot more sense, because she wants nothing to do with the finance loan side. She just wants to do real estate, and I was happy to learn that and go through it, and it's been really great. It's been a blessing, because we can work together in that.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. When I started in business, that's the way that we did it. So I would lead gen, and Connie would do the other side of it. So we started that way. And what it does is that, you can fill the gaps in. Right? So, I suck at paperwork. I hate paperwork. I hate it. Right? Connie would do that, and I would just bring in the lead. So, when you have that type of balance, it does create a really good team. Right? So now you started on the loan side. Do you remember your first client? What was that like? The very first loan client that you did, tell me that experience.
Oh, man. It was stressful, for sure. Yeah, definitely stressful. I didn't quite have the right, I guess you could say, training or structure behind it, but it turned out great. And it was probably a lot of just me being, very nervous about it and worrying about ruining messing something up. Everything went great. They're happy. They're still great clients. And yeah, I mean, just that fear of messing up somebody's transaction.
Yes.
Messing up somebody's biggest financial, investment that they may make in their entire life. It's like everything's resting on your shoulders. So
It is a lot too, because a lot of people don't. I'll tell you what, man, the loan side, you're like a life solver, actually. I mean, people think it's just getting information, but like, I'm telling y'all, man, you have to be like the Houdini of moving pieces around, because every client is different. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. Y'all might be upset with me, realtors, but I'm going to tell you. I, Anthony Glenn II from Atlanta, Georgia, real estate broker, believe that the lender is way more important than the real estate professional. Now, I'm going to get, people are going to be mad about this, but you can't have a closed house without that finance piece. What do you think? Which one do you believe is more important, the loan officer or the realtor, and why?
I agree. I think the loan officer, it's true. It's true.
You're going to be sleeping on the couch when you get home.
I mean, if you don't do the job right, everything falls apart.
That's correct, man. So now, so you became a loan officer, and now you have experience with the real estate side. Which side do you feel like you'll like best?
I think it's going to take some time to work
Good
both
answer.
at the same time. It's going to take some time. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. So what advice would you give what advice would you give firefighters in regard to investing in real estate?
Yeah. Another thing that I try to, impart on the younger guys is, you got to buy a house like early, like as soon as you can. Same thing we talk about with service members is as soon as you're able to do anything you can to get into that house, because while the pension is great, it's technically not guaranteed. So many things can happen 30 years from now, right? So I would say getting into a property, whether it's your primary residence or you're investing in property in some other channel, that's super important. I mean, for all of us, but for sure for firefighters, because that's really what most guys are counting on is their pension. That's what's keeping everybody. It's that carrot for them.
Okay. And then so invest in real estate as soon as possible. And then what do you foresee your business growing? What's the plan? Give me what the Jones family. What do you feel that you plan to do for within this industry for firefighters and military spouses and veterans?
So as Jazz has the Firewife group that she's trying to cultivate, and it's been an awesome experience so far. I think that we have an opportunity to do the same thing for the actual firefighters, the actual I'll just say fire husbands or firefighters. We have the same opportunity to give them the same kind of training like Wire, the same kind of basically education around investing. That way we have everybody on the same page, and we can get both the firewives as well as the firefighters, aligned with building wealth for themselves, for the future, for their families. That's where I see us going, is building out that platform and that training to move forward.
And that's good, guys, because I have never seen, if you guys have ever seen a firefighter or a fire spouse Facebook group talking about investing, let us know, because guess what? We're coming to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn near you. Now, excuse me. Also for the veteran community, I know you guys draw a big parallel there. What would you tell a service member in regard to getting prepared on the financial side, because they have the 100% financing? What would you tell a veteran? Because I saw that you guys just closed a veteran. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like, and how were you able to help them do that? Can you talk about that transaction?
Yeah. So the question is, what would I tell them?
Yes. Like, what advice would you give people? Because I know,
Yeah.
Can you talk about your last transaction, and then what were you able to do for them? And then, like, what advice would you give veterans or firefighters to get into the game?
So for veterans, service members, I would definitely say reach out to us, to your loan officers, like early. Like as soon as you have that idea of you want to know more, reach out early, because there's so many things we can line up and we can set up a roadmap for you in terms of, hey, let's take a look at your credit and see where you're at. Hey, let's take a look at what your LES is looking like and make sure that we're in a range that makes sense for you. Let's figure out a time frame. That way it's not like hey, I want to buy a house tomorrow. Well, yeah, it doesn't work that way, you know. So I would recommend for sure you got to reach out early to get the ball rolling. That way we can line things up with, if you're going to end up PCSing soon, we can make that happen for you. The other part, you know, in terms of our last family that we helped, it was so many moving parts. It was like they're selling a property, they have another property, they're deployed, you know. Mom, of course, is holding down the fort for the kids and for everything else. Just so many things going on, and it went great because they reached out early. They you know, had a roadmap. Jazz lined it out really well. I had it lined up to where everything worked out really, really well because there was such early communication and there was such a good strategy put in place. And they were on top of it. I tell you, like anytime we asked for something or requested some documents, they were on it. Signatures, specific POAs, all that stuff. So it all starts with planning it out.
And that's good, guys, because see, here's the thing, man. Most real estate professionals and mortgage professionals don't care about getting you the best deal, okay? And one thing that I've noticed about the Jones team is that they're more interested in making sure you get the best deal, number one. Number two, how efficient they can get you into a property. And then number three, how can they make you an investor in the future? And that, I believe, is what sets them apart from anyone else. Now, I have one last question for you. What is the best way to reach out to you?
So you can reach out to me at davidjones.realestate, and my number is 951-326-6904.
Fantastic, guys. And I'm Anthony Glenn, and you can reach out to me at TonyGlennII.com. Or if you guys are firefighters, first responders, and you're looking to invest in real estate, or if you're a veteran or military spouse or a fire wife, okay, we have some really exciting things coming to a theater near you. So you can reach us at texting LEARN, LEARN, at 760-573-2731. David, it's an honor to have you on the team.
Yes, sir.
Coming over here to win, baby. Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, we are going to make this the biggest network for military spouses and first responder spouses, to where we're creating generational wealth and building opportunities. And guess what? The Jones team is hiring. So if you are a fire wife and you want to get into real estate, or if you're a firefighter and you're looking to invest in real estate, we're bringing out some new creative stuff for you guys. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right.